Hi, my name is Ishmael and today we're going to be talking about 4 different ways you can find properties and build your property portfolio with hardly any money. So the first one is deal sourcing. Now deal sourcing comprises of finding a property, packaging that property and selling it to an investor. Briefly, that means you would go out, you would contact estate agents, you would contact people who are trying to sell their properties. You might find cheap properties which rent out for a reasonable amount in the area, or you might find properties that need work doing to them, or various types of properties, or any sort of property strategy, which we'll go into in other videos. And you'll package those, sell them to an investor. To set up a deal sourcing company, check out another video to find out what you need to be compliant, but it's approximately £1,000 to £2,000 for the first year, depending on what you would like to do as your compliance, whether you want to be insured to sell very expensive properties or cheaper properties, but you've got various things involved in that. The second strategy is rent to rent. So there's multiple things under rent to rent, but in short it's where you find a property, you rent it off a landlord on a management agreement, not a rental agreement, which is a short hold tenancy agreement. You tell them that you're going to be renting out the property to other people and you're not going to be living in it, and you get the correct agreement in place so it is done properly and legally. Once you rent it off them at a standard rate or a reduced rate, you'll rent it out to other people at an inflated rate. Now the way you can do that is you can either rent it out off them as a single let property and then turn it into a house of multiple occupants, or a HMO. Once it's into a HMO, you would rent it out by the room to individual tenants. To find out more details about that, check out my other video. Or you would do rent to SA. So where you rent a property off a landlord and then you run it as a serviced accommodation. So running it as a serviced accommodation would effectively mean that you could put it on places like Airbnb, Booking.com, and you rent it out per night for short-term lets. Or you rent it out on a holiday let period, but generally it's short term, up to a week maximum, to individuals. You might be doing it for holiday lets, you might be doing it for business lets, various things, depends on your area. You could do rent to rent, a single let to the single let, but they're very hard to come by, and most landlords won't do it because you would have to get the property at a stupidly reduced rate, which is not fair on a landlord, and we want win-win in everything we do in property. So the third option is lease option agreements. Now a lease option agreement is where you take a property on a rent to rent, which is normally a 5-7 year rent to rent, sometimes only 3, and you would rent out that property to someone else. You'd wait for maybe 3, 5, 7 years, and at the end of that you purchase a property. Now the reason you would be able to purchase a property at the end of that with little money is because at the beginning you agreed to a price and you fixed that price for the period of time that you agreed on. At the end of the period of time, that's when you get to buy the property at the agreed price, hoping that the price has gone up. Now you have to make sure that the person you're getting off is actually getting a good deal as well. You don't want to rip them off. You might do a profit share. So you say you agree to buy the property for 100,000, it increases to 120, and you say anything over 120, you will give them a percentage of the profit. So if it goes up to 120 and you say I'll give you 10% of the profits of everything above, if it goes to 130, you'll give them an extra £1,000, so you'll give 121, and you'll take the extra £9,000 profit. So the final way is finance or joint ventures. So, you can do finance or joint ventures by finding investors who are happy to invest in your properties, in your business, and what you do is you can either do this as a short term or long term, so you can either find money off investors, invest it in various properties, rent them out and manage the properties. You could give them legal charges on properties, various things. It's all between you and them exactly how it works, but effectively all you are doing, finding someone with a lot of money, taking the money off them, investing it into properties and giving them a return of their investment. Now if you can find properties which you get 20+% return of investment on per year, you could agree to give them 10%. and you would be making 10% profit on their money. Now that's extremely good, and there are these people out there. You just have to get them to trust you to lend you the money, and you also have to give them evidence that it's going to be used for what you say it is. It's going to be used properly, and you're going to be able to give them the returns you are offering. You might decide that you're going to give them a legal charge on the property, and if they've got a legal charge on the property, they might feel more safe, and therefore they're more likely to invest with you. The type of investors you might find vary from friends and family to investors you find various places wherever you do networking. So if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, whack that bell notification icon so you do not miss any more videos, and we'll see you on the next one.